My name is Sven Gabriel. I'm working for NIKHEF, the Dutch National Institute for Subatomic Physics, and also for EGITF11. EGITF11's main goal is to provide the incident response capabilities for the European grid infrastructure. One activity here is to organize security drills in order to get an idea of our incident response capabilities. The motivation for this is to test our incident response capabilities in order to optimize our security operations, which then will minimize the possible impact of a real incident on our production. In a distributed environment like the European grid infrastructure, operational security has an additional dimension, since here we have to coordinate the activities of many different security teams which might be involved in a multi-site incident. In earlier runs, we made sure that we have a sufficient operational setup to handle a multi-site incident. What you will now see in the movie is our last campaign, in which we simulated an incident on 40 sites on a global scale.
Last year we challenged 11 of the biggest sites in the Atlas collaboration. What we did is we tried to see what their incident handling capabilities are and test them. And what we did is we planted a virus onto their site, and they needed to find it, contain it, and examine it on what it was doing. This year we went to a new scale. We challenged 40 different sites all at once. So we had to create our own little portal to manage this all centrally from our side as the mimicked attackers onto the grid. So the portal is integrating the messaging system, so all the communication going back and forth between all the site security contacts, going back to the NGI coordinators and the EGI CSIRT coordinators on the pan-European level. The portal integrated all the information that was probed by the viruses that were planted onto the sites. All the information was reported back, so we keep control of the incident ourselves as the attackers. On the other hand, we also had all the information flowing back and forth from all the information that came from the incident response teams. They needed to figure out what the virus was doing on the site, what kind of traces it left back, what kind of problems that it introduced, and they needed to do the reporting on this. And also the biggest challenge in this case, because of it is a multi-incident, basically a global, we mimicked a global infection. What we wanted to do with this infection is see if we can actually cope with the load of all the communication going back and forth between all the sites.
If you look at a security exercise as on a security drill, you actually want to make sure that A, the communication works, B, the sensors at your site work so that you get the right alarms, and that C, the incident is handled correctly. What we did here, as said earlier, is that we included a virtual organization job submission framework, and it turned out that we also need a close collaboration with them in order to contain this incident. We also wanted to look at the efficiency of our security operations, and here it got quite apparent that it is very important that the virtual organization security team acts on it. What they actually did is to shut down their fabric, which then had the effect that really all the malware stopped. For this exercise, the Atlas VO provided us with a parallel production system we could use for the security exercise. So we could really use all our tools for incident response without interfering with their real production. It turned out that during this exercise, the most efficient operation was done actually by the Atlas security team by shutting down the framework itself. In a real incident, this would have the bad side effect that really the production would be affected seriously. So actually they would go down for several hours.